and what we're about to reveal will completely alter the way you see your favorite films. We're diving deep into 20 movies that left out the real horrific endings. These are the moments you never saw. The truths Hollywood buried beneath box office friendly conclusions. Get ready to uncover the darkness, because what was left out might haunt you more than what made it on screen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. This one's going to be unforgettable. Movies based on true stories. Number 1. Titanic, a symphony of screams and despair. The film gave us romance. Reality gave us horror. While James Cameron's Titanic mesmerized audiences with its sweeping love story amid tragic loss, survivors recalled an ending so horrifying that it defied every sanitized version. Screams echoed over the icy Atlantic for hours, chilling and relentless, as people froze to death slowly, caught in the grip of nature's merciless cruelty. Many clung desperately to corpses, praying that rescue would come, while others could only watch, paralyzed in eerie silence as lifeboats drifted away amid overwhelming despair. The water didn't merely claim lives, it tortured hope until the very end. Those who lived never forgot the screams and agonizing silence that haunted the darkness. The ocean wasn't cinematic. It was a graveyard with waves. In the midst of the freezing chaos, survivors recounted feeling as if time itself had stopped. They described surreal moments where reality blended with nightmare, as if the sea was a living entity punishing every soul. The memory of that endless terror continues to echo long after the ship sank. Number 2. The Blind Side from Fairy Tale to Fallout. A feel-good film hiding a broken bond. The Blind Side presented an inspiring story of a family's love transforming a boy's life. Yet the truth behind Michael O'Hare's journey was far grimmer. O'Hare later revealed that he was never truly adopted, but instead placed under a conservatorship, a legal tool he says was exploited to control his fate and fortune. In 2023, he sued the Tuohy family, alleging a web of deception that twisted his life story and robbed him of his true identity. Behind the Hollywood smiles and manufactured success lay constant battles with personal identity, mental health, and betrayal so deep it undermined every uplifting moment. What the film polished into a modern fairy tale was, in truth, a legal and emotional battlefield where promises crumbled under harsh reality. The true ending? One of disillusionment and pain. Number 3. Pocahontas, a tale whitewashed by history. Disney gave us a love story. History gave us heartbreak. The animated Pocahontas charmed generations with its gentle romance and vibrant visuals. Yet the true story of Matoka was one of abject tragedy and cultural theft. Kidnapped at the tender age of 17, she was forced into conversion and married off, not to the heroic John Smith, as the film suggested, but to John Rolfe, a union forged by colonial exploitation. Paraded around England as a token of civilization, she was never allowed to return to her native land, her true identity erased. Her untimely death at just 21, possibly due to poisoning, remains a somber footnote in history, a fate far more gruesome than any Disney ending could capture. The real story was one of stolen youth, relentless oppression, and heartbreak masked as romance. What the movie called love was, in truth, cultural erasure wrapped in myth. The legacy of Pocahontas is shrouded in tragedy and silence, a muted cry for justice overshadowed by glittering animation. Historians lament how the sanitized narrative obscures the pain of colonization. The Missing Truth is a reminder of the cost of rewriting history for mass appeal. Number 4. Argo glorified escape, terrifying reality. The Hollywood ending left out the terror. Argo masterfully delivers suspense and heroism on screen, yet the true story of the Iranian hostage escape was a relentless nightmare that defies any feel-good conclusion. While the film portrays a daring, swift extraction, the hostages endured months of psychological torture, constant fear, and the ever-present threat of execution at every door knock. The Canadian Embassy, which served as the unlikely haven, was a fortress of dread, with every shadow and whisper carrying the weight of impending death. The escape wasn't a tidy, orchestrated maneuver. It was a nerve-wracking gamble that left deep scars on those who survived. Every interrogation, every near miss left them trapped in a living horror. What the screen stylized was, in reality, pure fear and chaos. Horror movies based on real events. Number 5. Jaws: Blood in the Water was real. The movie scared beachgoers. The truth made people flee. Inspired by the 1916 shark attacks in New Jersey, the events behind Jaws were far more gruesome than the film's Hollywood portrayal allowed. Victims weren't simply dragged under by a sudden force. They were torn apart slowly, in excruciating agony, many in front of loved ones who could only watch in horror. One child tragically died in his father's arms, while another victim was found missing limbs, a brutal testament to nature's merciless power. The panic was palpable, leading to widespread beach closures and an overwhelming national hysteria that painted the coast in terror. Spielberg delivered a masterclass in suspense, but even that was a sanitized version. History gave us blood, grief, and raw horror. Eyewitness accounts describe the chaotic aftermath as towns reeled in shock and disbelief. The true events led to not only physical scars, but collective trauma for entire communities. The enduring legacy of these attacks transformed public perception of beach safety forever. Number 6. The Exorcist possession beyond film reels. What happened wasn't fiction, it was fear incarnate. The notorious exorcism of Roland Doe, a young boy tormented by an unseen evil, surpasses any chilling tale portrayed on screen. Objects in his home would levitate inexplicably, with mysterious Latin inscriptions carving themselves onto his skin and sending shudders through the clergy. Priests, sworn to confront evil, were attacked both physically and spiritually, their voices trembling with panic during these unholy sessions. These exorcisms stretched on for months, draining life and hope from all who dared to intervene. One priest nearly died from the relentless torment and spiritual assault. The devil didn't stop when the cameras rolled. Every legend of possession grows darker in the retelling, with unspeakable rituals hidden in dusty archives. Those who survived whispered of an evil so deep it took years to overcome. The true horror lingers as a specter in the minds of those who endured it. Number 7. Psycho, inspired by a grave horror. Norman Bates was terrifying, but Ed Gein was monstrous. The story behind Psycho is rooted in the ghastly real-life crimes of Ed Gein, a man whose actions defied any semblance of humanity. Gein not only desecrated graves, but transformed human remains into macabre household items, creating face masks and disturbing trophies that shocked an unsuspecting nation. His home, a veritable chamber of horrors, was so grotesque that even local law enforcement could hardly believe their eyes. Reports tell us that one sheriff, overwhelmed by the visceral reality of Gein's lair, was reduced to vomiting on the spot. The real monster wasn't fictional. He was your neighbor. The details of Gaines' atrocities reveal a darkness far beyond what cinema dared to imply. His actions spawned countless urban legends that continue to chill listeners to the bone. The legacy of his crimes looms as a stark reminder that sometimes true horror is rooted in the familiar. Number 8. The Conjuring 10 Years of Terror. The Perron family lived a nightmare far worse than 2 hours could show. The Conjuring distilled years of haunting into a film meant to thrill, yet the reality for the Perron family was a decade of incessant demonic torment. They endured nightly attacks, furniture hurled through the air, voices that whispered doom in the dead of night, and an ever-present dread that no prayer could dispel. Family members were physically thrown about, their sanity eroded by relentless paranormal phenomena that defied explanation. Even Ed and Lorraine Warren, famed for their battles with evil, admitted the case was among the most disturbing they'd encountered. The haunting didn't end with a blessing. It left them scarred forever. War movies based on true accounts. Number 9. Saving Private Ryan. A sanitized hell. The opening was brutal. The truth was worse. While Saving Private Ryan delivered a harrowing, intense cinematic experience, veterans have testified that real life was even more brutal. Soldiers on Normandy's shores recounted moments when bodies disintegrated before their eyes, limbs torn asunder by exploding artillery, blood mingling with seawater. Drowning wasn't swift. Men were left gasping in agony as they sank under piles of debris and broken dreams. The relentless assault on their bodies and minds led to PTSD that never fully faded, haunting survivors for decades. War wasn't cinematic. It was carnage incarnate. The true horrors of battle were not confined to a screen, but etched in the memories of those who lived it. Every echo of a distant explosion is a reminder of that unspeakable day. The sanitized portrayal in film leaves out the raw grief and unhealed wounds of wartime reality. Number 10. Dunkirk Panic and Starvation on the Sand. The film was tense. The truth was chaos. Although Dunkirk's cinematic portrayal captured the desperate spirit of evacuation, the actual events were far more horrific. Soldiers huddled on the beach endured unrelenting heat, starvation, and dehydration as they waited for salvation that came at a snail's pace. Rations turned to dust under the scorching sun, and bullets rained down amidst desperate screams. Crowds of men, driven to madness, walked directly into the ocean in a futile attempt to escape their despair. The haunting image of bodies piled up, and the relentless agony of waiting turned hope into torment. The real Dunkirk wasn't hope. It was horror in uniform. Survivors recalled moments of sheer panic when every second felt like an eternity. The chaotic scramble was marked by the inescapable realization that death could come from hunger, heat, or enemy fire. The overwhelming dread transformed the beach into a living nightmare, eclipsing any cinematic version. Number 11. Schindler's List. Agony Beyond the Frame. Schindler saved lives, but the slaughter wasn't softened. The Holocaust, whose atrocities were the subject of Schindler's List, was far more harrowing than a film could ever show. Every day, children were ripped from their mothers, and families were torn apart in a massacre that defies comprehension. Witnesses recall the bitter taste of despair as they watched pregnant women, destined to bear no future, endure unspeakable horrors in concentration camps. The suffering was so profound, that even black and white film could not capture the vibrant bloodshed and anguish. Survivors carried with them the haunting memories of gas chambers and crematoria that burned with human sorrow. The gas chambers weren't filmed because they couldn't be. Each unspeakable detail that goes unshown is a testament to the unfathomable pain endured by millions. The haunting silence of those who survived is louder than any narration could be. In every recount, history's scars remain vivid and raw. Number 12. Black Hawk, Down Brutality Beyond Bullets. The mission went wrong, but reality was worse. In Somalia, the real-life chaos of urban warfare in Black Hawk Down was far removed from any neatly concluded battle sequence. Troops battled not only against armed foes, but also against the relentless forces of dehydration, malnutrition, and psychological collapse. Fierce firefights were followed by agonizing hours, where every scream and cry for help reverberated in a desolate, unforgiving landscape. Some soldiers were left with disfigured bodies and shattered spirits, their memories marred by scenes of decapitation and mutilation. The film hinted at such brutality, but omitted the unspeakable details that left survivors haunted by their experience. The battle wasn't just lost, it was relived in nightmares. Every recollection by a veteran reveals layers of torment that no script could capture. The scars of war are etched deep into the soul, far beyond the visual spectacle of cinema. The true story is a relentless echo of suffering that continues to shape lives. Crime thrillers that glossed over gore. Number 13. Zodiac, Chilling Silence After the Credits. The killer never stopped. The fear never left. The Zodiac killer, who terrorized San Francisco in the late 1960s and early 70s, instilled a terror that was far more grotesque than what the movie depicted. Authorities received disturbing letters detailing his heinous acts in vivid, unspeakable detail words that painted a picture of murder so horrifying it was too dark for the newsprint. Fear permeated the city. Curfews were imposed and neighborhoods locked down in terror. While the film presented a tense pursuit, the real killer's actions left scars that persist in the collective memory of an entire generation. Unlike the neat wrap of a film finale, the Zodiac's legacy is an open wound, a mystery that continues to fester. The ending? Still out there. Every unsolved case leaves a lingering dread, and the Zodiac remains the embodiment of that terror. The silence after the last letter speaks volumes of lives ruined in its wake. The absence of closure is its most chilling weapon. Number 14. Goodfellas, Bloodier Than Cinema Allowed. The mob life was savage, not slick. Henry Hill's journey into the world of organized crime is a tale of betrayal, savagery, and constant, looming violence. He witnessed friends murdered for the slightest misstep, and the brutality of the mob was raw and unfiltered. His experiences went far beyond the glamorous veneer of the film, with real-life betrayals that led to horrific, unrelenting acts of violence. He constantly lived in terror of retribution, even from those he trusted. The FBI's secretive watch over him underscored the lethal environment that he was forced to endure. It wasn't a lifestyle, it was a death sentence. Every moment of his life was a high-stakes gamble with death, and the reality was as brutal as it was unforgiving. The true story leaves a trail of devastation that no dramatization can accurately convey. The endless paranoia, the loss of life, it was a raw, unedited chapter of misery. Number 15. Catch Me If You Can Victims, left in ruin. Frank's charm hid a trail of despair. Frank Abagnale Jr. became a legend as he impersonated doctors, lawyers, and pilots. But behind his dazzling con was a trail of profound destruction. Countless individuals suffered financial ruin and personal devastation due to his elaborate scams. Airlines were forced to overhaul security protocols, and victims' lives were upturned by the ripple effects of his fraud. The film focused on his cleverness and charm, yet the human toll of his actions was staggering and raw. People lost everything: their jobs, their savings, and sometimes their dignity. The smile hid the destruction. The true tale of deceit is a cautionary epic of crime that left communities shattered. Every fraudulent act was a blow to innocent lives, a scar that time could not heal. The real story, stripped of the Hollywood gloss, is a testament to the dark cost of ambition gone awry. Number 16. American Gangster Empire of Blood and Needles. Frank Lucas built his fortune on death. In his ruthless criminal empire, Lucas smuggled heroin using ingenious yet horrifying methods, inside soldiers' coffins being the most chilling of them all. This depraved tactic turned grief into profit, with entire neighborhoods decimated by addiction. Children were left vulnerable, and families were torn apart as the epidemic of drugs spread relentlessly. The film left out key details of the pervasive violence and corruption that accompanied his reign. His rule was marked by a widespread system of fear that extended into law enforcement and government circles. His wealth wasn't built, it was soaked in blood. The devastation wrought by his empire is still felt by those who lost loved ones and saw entire communities crumble. Each statistic hides a personal tragedy, a story of silent suffering that the screen dared not tell. The grim reality is a lasting stain on the fabric of society. Dramas with tragic truths. Number 17. The Pursuit of Happyness. Grit was softened. The triumph was real, but so was the suffering. Chris Gardner's struggle to build a better life was far more harrowing than the pursuit of happiness ever conveyed on screen. He slept in subway bathrooms, begged for scraps, and risked everything for the chance at a better future. The film's ending, a heartwarming victory, glossed over the endless days of physical and emotional torment he endured. His fight was fought in hidden moments of despair and impossible odds that left him on the brink of collapse. Every personal humiliation and every setback was a battle that he almost lost. The cost of success? Everything. Gardner's true story is a relentless saga of sacrifice and pain, a journey that challenges the very notion of hope. His every moment was a fight for survival, an uphill battle against an unforgiving world. The deep scars of his past are reminders that success often comes at an unthinkable price. Number 18. Hotel Rwanda. After the cameras stopped. He was a hero until he became a headline. Paul Rusesabagina's incredible efforts during the Rwandan genocide saved countless lives, but his legacy took a dark turn in later years. After the heroic acts on screen, he was later arrested and accused of terrorism, turning public adoration into fierce controversy. His reputation splintered as accusations and political battles replaced the gratitude once felt by survivors. The trauma endured by those he saved continued to haunt him, leaving him isolated from the very people he once inspired hope in. The film provided a sanitized closure, omitting the ongoing strife that followed his brave actions. The cameras stopped, but the suffering didn't. Number 19. Braveheart torture. Too grim to show. Freedom had a price paid in screams. William Wallace's story, immortalized in Braveheart, was a tale of rebellion and sacrifice. But history tells an even darker version. Wallace was not only executed, but tortured in ways that defy the sanitized retellings of history, dragged, disemboweled, and quartered with unrelenting brutality. Crowds cheered as his body was dismembered piece by piece, while his agony was paraded as a warning to others. The film gave us a sense of victory. The real ending was a tableau of medieval cruelty that chills the soul. His execution was prolonged, turning public spectacle into a gruesome festival of pain. Mel Gibson didn't dare show it all. The historic account of Wallace's torment pierces the veil of cinematic heroism to reveal the raw cruelty of war. The screams of the oppressed echo long after the light fades, and every retelling is a reminder of the cost of freedom. The unvarnished truth is far more harrowing than any dramatization. Number 20. 127 hours more than just a rock. A rock trapped him. His mind nearly broke him. Aaron Ralston's ordeal, immortalized in 127 hours, was a story of survival that far exceeded the on-screen portrayal. Locked in a canyon by a boulder, he faced not only excruciating physical pain, but a mental torture that blurred the lines between reality and hallucination. His desperate measures, drinking his own urine, pleading for a miracle, were the raw, unfiltered moments of pure terror. When he finally amputated his arm to escape, it was not just a triumph of survival, but a descent into a struggle with profound existential dread. The aftermath left him scarred, both in body and in soul, as nightmares and PTSD became constant companions. His freedom cost him more than flesh. The harrowing details of Ralston's experience remain a testament to the depths of human willpower. The terrifying stillness of those canyon nights and the moment of irrevocable sacrifice illustrate a battle that no film can truly capture. His recovery is a bittersweet victory born from unimaginable agony. Thanks for watching. Did any of these revelations surprise you? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more haunting revelations. Until next time, stay curious and stay fearless.